What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the TokenMinorities, bringing you Week 7 of Season 8 of the CPC, and this week we are up against KHD and his Jersey Pursuit. And before I get into the team, just a reminder that if you guys like this video, please leave a like, drop a comment, click that subscribe button as it helps us out a ton, and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. But anyway, on to the team. I'm just going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. No, that is not an error. I was able to get Celesteela. I traded KHD Jirachi for his Celesteela. He was looking to make some changes. And lo and behold, I managed to get Celesteela for Jirachi because he really did not enjoy using Celesteela. So while I did really like Jirachi, and while it was a mon that I thought was really underrated and was excited to get to use in League, I mean, I have not used Celesteela to this point, and anybody in their right mind would take the Celesteela for Jirachi trade. However, in order to have enough points to pull that trade off, I did have to drop the Typhlosion for Tangela. It was just kind of a, well, I mean, I need 2 points. Typhlosion is 6, so let's just see what 4-point mons are there. And it was either Tangela or Abomasnow, and honestly, Tangela was just kind of a mon that I was like, whatever. It can be really, really bulky if I need it to, and it can be a pivot with Regenerator, and once you know it, it's actually coming to this game. But anyway, KHD's team is actually really terrifying because Jirachi plus Latios are both able to run Modest due to the relatively large speed tier gap in my team, and by relatively large, I mean, so first of all, I don't count Raichu as a base 110. I have no mons between 122 and 79. Like, there is a 43-point speed tier gap in my draft right now, which is kind of really, really unfortunate because, I mean, like I said, both Latios and Jirachi are able to run Modest against me, so that's just kind of a, oh crap, this sucks. So yeah, that's going to be something I really have to watch out for. And then things like Azumarill can be a huge problem for me, but overall I think I have a really, really good matchup as my Fat can really just kind of put a dead stop to whatever he wants to do. The first mon I am bringing is going to be an Electrium Z Tapu Koko with Wild Charge, U-Turn, Roost, and Grass Knot. This is a physical but kind of mixed set, and the reason that I'm running physical Tapu Koko is because Calm Mind Rachi actually just kind of demolishes my entire existence, and a Z Wild Charge from Tapu Koko in electric terrain can take that thing out from full, if not very near full. Like, it can take it out from a very high range of HP. So even if it's pretty bulky and manage to take out one of my mons, Tapu Koko is always an emergency check to that thing. Also, U-Turn is really nice for, like, the Mega Latios, and then Grass Knot is there just for, like, cleaning up the Hippowdon if I need that. The speed is enough to, I mean, I outsped Latios, obviously, but I wanted to try to, like, speed creep, maybe the Beedrill speed creeping my Beedrill speed creeping me, speed creeping Latios. I don't know, I really don't think he would do that, but really there was just no other speed tier that I really needed to hit, so I just rolled with it. Next up is going to be a Spadef Celesteela, and no two ways about it. This thing is just a Spadef set for his Latios, because Latios is a huge, huge threat otherwise, and I need a way to deal with it. Also, Celesteela is very, very nice for, like, the Mega Beedrill, the Mandibuzz, the Serena, the Stoutland, the Lycanroc, like all of those mons Celesteela can come in on, and Leech Seed spam against his team is incredibly, incredibly potent, and Celesteela forms half of the Leech Seed core, the other half obviously being Tangela, but yeah, Celesteela, just a Spadef set, does really, really well against him. Next up is going to be an offensive mon with, I think, Tapu Koko, well, not I think, I know that Koko, Greninja, and Mega Aerodactyl form my offensive core, whereas Celesteela, Swampert, and Tangela form my defensive core, with Aerodactyl kind of being a flex between offense and defense. But Greninja is definitely a pressure mon. Like, it puts a ton of pressure on his team, and really just, like, if I get this thing in the right scenario, something dies. Like, Dual Stab plus Gunk Shot covers his entire team, quite frankly. Like, Azumarill does resist my Dual Stab, but Gunk Shot with this set that I totally didn't get from Marvin Varvin. He definitely didn't give me this set and was like, hey, use this, Greninja puts in work. And usually I like to come up with my own sense, but Marvin, in this case, gave me a set that I was like, yeah, this is actually really, really good in this matchup. So shoutouts to Marvin for that. And actually, Marvin Gardens or Marvin Varvin, one of the two. Just take your pick. But either way, this set demolishes him. In the right scenario, just comes in and gets a kill. The attack is to Guaranteed knockout 0 investment Azumarill with Gunk Shot after rocks. The defense is enough to guarantee live +6 Aqua Jet after rocks. And then the speed is to speed creep Jirachi. And because, Jirachi is the most potent on my team, on his team, whereas Mega Latios, or not Latios, Mega Latios, regular Latios I can outspeed with like my Coco and my Aerodactyl. So like outspeeding Latios isn't the worst thing in the world, but like Jirachi I do want to outspeed, even if he just randomly goes 252, 252. Like that thing is scary enough to where I want to have max speed to guarantee be able to outspeed it. Next up is going to be a Spidef Swampert, my main Rachi check, with Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Protect, and Toxic, just a general annoyance. Swampert gets up rocks. Protect is nice for using up a potential Z-move on Jirachi, for letting Leech Seed or Toxic rack up on one of the mons that he goes into. And then I'm thinking that if Rotom comes, it's going to be a choiced set. So this is a way of being able to be like, you know what, I'm just going to Protect on this Rotom, see if it wants to go for the HP Grass at this point. And if it doesn't, then Swampert's able to take that thing on just fine. So yeah, Swampert just takes on his team very, very well. Next up is going to be a defensive Tangela as my Azumarill counter, as this set guaranteed outspeeds Adamant Azumarill, whereas even with only 84 investment in my defense, I still take absolutely nothing from physical hits. I believe Mega Beedrill can't even OHKO me, which is absolutely insane. But Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Leaf Storm, and Knockoff are my sets, just because, he has to bring Serena if he wants to be immune to Leech Seed, and I know the combination of Electric Terrain plus Sleep Powder is kind of iffy, but it can come through clutch if I need it in the end. And also, by the way, at this point, keep note of the fact that Sleep Powder and Leech Seed are right next to each other in my moveset, because that will come into play, no spoilers. But yeah, Knockoff and Leaf Storm. Leaf Storm is there just because I want to hit Azumarill as hard as possible, just like, okay, you're at a certain amount of health, like, you were managed to, I believe this set guaranteed OHKO's max HP Azumarill from 75% with Leaf Storm. So once he gets up to +6, the absolute max amount of health he could be at in a, just in an isolated scenario is going to be 75%, so this takes it out guaranteed. And next up is going to be an Aerodactyl as just another way of taking on his Latios and Jirachi, just like an emergency check. Also takes on his Mega Beedrill very, very well. Taunt is nice for the Hippowdon, the Mandibuzz, preventing those things from either getting up rocks or getting rid of rocks. Crunch is good for the Latios and the Jirachi, whereas Rock Slide just covers his team pretty well in general. And this thing does speed creep Latios as well. So yeah, that is a team. It was very straightforward, and just warning, this is going to be a very long and bulky battle. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right on into it. Alrighty, here we are in the battle, and the first thing I'm noticing is that, what the heck, there is no Latios. So arguably the scariest mon against my team, he did not bring. I am definitely not complaining, as yeah, one less Latios I have to deal with is, that's just perfect. That is absolutely phenomenal. However, he did bring the Mega Beedrill, so against a Celesteela, Buzzwole, Cofagrigus, Mega Aerodactyl, Nidoqueen, and Swampert, he brought Mega Beedrill. So I was just like, wait, really? Bringing Mega Bee? But I guess, whatever, it's annoying, so, it could potentially do some work, so that's going to be annoying to deal with. But the fact that he did not bring the Rotom, which in my opinion was his best way of taking on Tapu Koko, honestly just tells me that this Hippowdon is going to be Spidef. More than likely, it's going to be a Rindo Berry in order to be able to take a, he's definitely going to be either Spidef enough to take a +1 Z Grass Knot, or he is going to be a Rindo Berry. But that being said, I am noticing the amount of pressure that Rocks can put on his team. So I'm just immediately going to lead off with my Swampert, as he leads off with his Serena, and I just kind of want to scout out what this thing wants to do. Serena has nothing to take advantage of Protect, so I'm just going to go straight for the Protect, see what he wants to go for, as he does go for the U-turn. And now I could try to just go for my Rocks, anticipating him to go for U-turn again, but I don't want to risk my Swampert immediately. I'm going to go into my Celesteela, and that actually shows that that is going to be banded Serena damage. So now, as soon as Serena is in next time, I can just Protect with Swampert, see what Serena wants to go for, and then switch accordingly or even just stay in. But with Jirachi, I know that this thing is going to be a Calm Mind set. It's going to be a Calm Mind, more than likely Electrium Z set. Because my Celesteela is Spadef and Jirachi is in, I'm just immediately going to go for the Leech Seed, as he does go for the Calm Mind. But now I don't want to take a +1 Z Thunder. I'm going to go into my Swampert to be able to take a +1 or a +2 Psychic in this case. I go for Protect, actually scouting out to see if he is Energy Ball, but he goes into a Serena now, and I know that a Protect is completely free and allows me to scout out his move. As he goes for the Power Whip, this gives me a free switch into Tangela, and I can go for the Sleep Powder, which I unfortunately miss, as Rachi goes for the Wish. And I'm going to go for the Sleep Powder once again, just to try to catch the Rachi, but he does bring in the Serena. I'm going to go straight back into my Celesteela, as U-turn, even though it's banded, still does 8%, and after 2 turns, I will be back up to full. So now with the Rachi back in, I'm just going to rinse and repeat. I'm going to Leech Seed this thing and then go into Swampert. If he stays in enough, I can get up my rocks. In this case, now that he did stay in and is not at +1, and he probably doesn't have Energy Ball based on the fact that he didn't go for that earlier, I'm going to get my Stealth Rock up and now go for the Protect to see what the Serena wants to do. He does go for the Power Whip once again, and I am pulling the switch right back into my Celesteela. You might see a theme developing for this game. I am playing it incredibly safe. I know that my Fat can beat him, and only if I play badly is there a way that he can beat my Fat. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, as the switch was super obvious, as he goes into his Jirachi, and now I'm just going to fire off the Toxic, as if Jirachi wants to stay in. Oh, sorry, I don't go for the Toxic just yet. That's my bad. I go for the Earthquake in case Jirachi wanted to stay in. I was getting ahead of myself. So basically that turn, with the Wish lingering, I was thinking that Jirachi could potentially think that, okay, Earthquake might not kill from that range. Like, he might have enough HP to where he thinks Earthquake might not kill. I just want to get some damage off on him and see what happens. If he goes into Mandibuzz, well, then he can get rid of the rocks, but I can Toxic that thing. So my apologies, I got ahead of myself, but now that the Mandibuzz is in, here is where I'm going to go for the Toxic, start wearing this thing down. And he got rid of my lefties, which is unfortunate, but I have enough Leech Seed to where that I can, to where that Swampert can just get HP later, and especially because it comes in on Rachi so freely. And now that he went for Defog, I'm actually going to stay in and go for the rocks, as I want him to think that I'm just going to go straight for a Defog versus Roxwort, where he might be inclined, or less inclined to Defog, because I want to keep the rocks up against him as they really pressure the Mega B, as that is the only thing, besides this Mandibuzz potentially, but Mandibuzz isn't a huge threat against Greninja, that can outspeed my Greninja at this point and take it out. So yeah, getting rid of Mega Beedrill is a priority for Greninja to be able to win the game. But now that I went for that first Stealth Rock, I am actually going to pull the switch into my Aerodactyl, thinking that, okay, he might try to go into Azu, predicting that or something, but he goes into Serena, and now I'm just going to pull the switch into my Celesteela, as it could take whatever hit Serena wanted to go for. As he pulls the switch into his Hippowdon, I'm just going to go for the Leech Seed and take that thing. Sorry, my phone went off for a second. But yeah, now with the Hippowdon in, Celesteela getting back up near full, I am taking this opportunity to go into my Greninja, as he's more than likely going to slack off, which he does. And with Greninja in, something is going to die. Like, nothing on his team can come in on a Hydro Pump into any other move that I have. Like Hippowdon, the reason why I opted for Surf over Hydro Pump over Surf rather in this case is because Hydro Pump Oko's Spadef Hippowdon from full, and I was thinking that, okay, that's a significant enough calc to where I can't afford to just run Surf. Like, I need to run Hydro Pump, and this is exactly the situation I envisioned. Like, I'd be able to bring in Greninja as Hippowdon slacked off back to full. Leech Seed maybe would put him a little bit lower, and I will just be able to fire off a Life Orb Hydro Pump into something else. So yeah, something on his team will die at this point. It's turn 27, and I'm finally going to force a kill. Goes into Azu, perfect. Hydro into Gunk Shot will be able to KO him, and I miss. Now that was huge, because no matter what set of Azumarill he was, Hydro Pump into Gunk Shot, guaranteed killed. Like, he could have been max HP. Well, actually, he would have had to have been max HP, max defense with Assault Vest in order for Hydro Pump into Gunk Shot after rocks to not kill his Azumarill. But as it stands, unfortunately, I missed the Hydro Pump, which really, really sucks, as now I'm forced to go into my Tangela to take a Play Rough that reveals to not be banded damage, and at this point I am just going to go straight for the Leech Seed, because whatever he went into, I mean, Serena is not a huge threat, as I thought I would just be slower and be able to Leech Seed something, but turns out Serena is actually pretty darn slow, and I'm not able to get the Leech Seed off, so that really, really sucks, as I thought Tangela for sure would be slower than Serena. I would think that Serena would try to outspeed something, especially because it's banded, but nope, that's not the case. This does give him a free switch into his Beedrill, who takes rocks. I'm obviously not going to sack my Tangela, as it has shown that it can switch in on Hippowdon whenever I want, as he stays in and goes for the Toxic Spike. Now, I was like, okay, he brought Toxic Spike when Nidoqueen was a super easy bring. But whatever, that happens. I go for the Heavy Slam, try to 2-hit KO something on the switch, as Rachi comes in, and Heavy Slam into Earthquake will be able to get rid of that thing, and that is absolutely insanely good for my team. So he goes into his Azumarill. I go for the Heavy Slam, just thinking, okay, this thing should not be able to set up on me, and Heavy Slam does only 3% less than it could have done in order to prevent the Azumarill from setting up, but as it turned out, I actually got an absolute max roll, so he was guaranteed to live regardless, or he was guaranteed to be able to set up regardless, and the combination of Citrus Berry, Belly Drum into Wish means Azumarill is at 52%, and yeah, that missed Hydro is looking real nice right about now, as I'm forced to sack off my Swampert in order to go into my Tangela, and yeah, having Swampert at a high amount of HP and a dead Azumarill would have been really nice, but yeah, I mean, the combination of the Sleep Powder miss and the Hydro miss led to Azumarill being able to get that kill against Swampert as well, because otherwise, I mean, I would have just been in a whole lot better of a position, but unfortunately, that's not the way it goes. He goes into his Serena. My Tangela is low enough. I'm going to go into my Celesteela. Yeah, he's going to go for the U-turn, but there's honestly not a whole lot I can do, but there's not a whole lot that he can do either. He's going to go into his Hippowdon, and all this means is free Leech Seed. Like, Hippowdon is going to win this game against him, barring no major hacks, as, jinx myself, he ends up getting the Para, and at this point, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, he goes for Thunderfang, gets the Para, not a huge deal. I will be able to protect up, get another round of Leech Seed plus Lefties, be at a great amount of health, and still be able to take some stuff on later. So I am just going to go straight for the Protect, as, nope, not a chance, as he Thunderfangs immediate Para into immediate full Para, and now my Celesteela is at 59%, and that freaking blows. Like, that sucks so badly. But at this point, I'm going to go into my Greninja and force a kill once again. I'm like, whatever. Like, screw this hacks. I'm just going to come in, click Hydro Pump, something is going to drop, and Serena comes in, and I freaking miss a Hydro Pump once again. Now, what is this game? This is absolutely ridiculous. I've missed 2 Hydro Pumps. I've missed a Sleep Powder. He got the immediate Thunderfang Para into full Para, which essentially means my Celesteela cannot take on his Mega Beedrill anymore, and the Serena comes in, dodges the Hydro, so instead of being able to just click Dark Pulse to knock this thing out, I have to risk Gunk Shot, and while part of me was like, okay, what if I don't want to risk Greninja? I mean, I eventually was just like, you know what, screw this. If Hacks is going to screw me over this game, I'm just going to make it screw me over to the fullest extent. I am going to click a Gunk Shot, and I am going to try to knock this Serena out. Like, if I miss, well, then you know what, I have missed 4 moves, and he got the full Para with Thunderfang. Like, there was nothing I could do. So I just click it, luckily it hits, and does take out the Serena, and that is absolutely huge, because now, anytime anything is in, Leech Seed is super easily spammed. Now, I'm going to go back into my Celesteela, as he does go for the knockoff. Will be able to knock off my lefties and knock me out with the second knockoff. And you know, once again, that HP that I would have gotten back with that second Protect would have left me at 90%. I would have come in, taken the knockoff, been at about like 40-ish%, been able to freely Leech Seed, but nah, that's not how Pokemon works sometimes. So, I mean, these last couple games have been going absolutely wonderfully for me if you factor in the Little Cup game. But now, I'm going to pull the switch into my Aerodactyl. I'm just going to go straight for the crunch. I'm like, you know what, screw it. I have switch-ins to the Hippowdon. I can spam Leech Seed. I can do whatever I need to do. As Hippowdon comes in, that damage reveals that he is Spadef, but now Tangela can come in, take any 2 hits of what Hippowdon wants to do, and if I need to, I can go for like a Leaf Storm or something, but now on the switch, I am just going to go for the Leech Seed to get Tangela a little bit of HP back. as unfortunately Poison plus Sand is wearing me down. Mandibuzz comes in. If he wants to go for the defog, he can, but Toxic plus Leech Seed will be wearing him down, as you can see. So, I mean, he either could have Roosted, which I could have knocked him out with Wild Charge, or he could have defogged, which got rid of the rocks on my side as well, which is kind of nice, but this does leave Mandibuzz at a range where Tapu Koko is able to knock him out with U-turn. And I'm going into the Mega Aerodactyl as opposed to the Tangela, just because, okay, if Tangela's in, Mega Beedrill comes in, and that's a free U-turn, and then basically we just end up with Arrow versus Hippo, with Arrow at a little bit less HP. But if I go Arrow, I force in the Hippo, and then I can immediately bring my Tangela back in. Rocks are not up. His attacks won't do jack as he crits a Thunderfang, and that does 10%. And now I am able to immediately click the Leech Seed, but remember what I said in the team builder about Leech Seed and Sleep Powder being right next to each other? In my, well, combination of tilt from getting hacked so badly this game and also being in just kind of a mindless endgame phase where it's like, whatever, I just had to out-fat him, I click Sleep Powder in the electric terrain. So, yeah, Carson and Evan, I'm joining the club. Yeah, that super sucks in this case as well, because that Leech Seed would have meant that Mega B would be in range of Greninja's Water Shuriken without being in Torrent. As it stands now, Greninja in Torrent with 3 hits will be able to knock out Beedrill. But with its current amount of HP, Mega Beedrill is not in range of 3 hits from Water Shuriken, so that really blows. I was like, wait, what happened? Like, why is Beedrill not Leech Seeded? I missed? Nope, I click Sleep Powder. But now I go into my Arrow, he U-turns and frickin' crits me, and that really sucks because now I can't even switch into Knockoff anymore. So this is honestly one of the worst hacked games I've had in a while. Like, this is even worse, honestly, than the Little Cup game. But now that Electric Terrain is not there, I made sure this time I clicked Sleep Powder to put the Hippo to sleep. This gives me a free turn to go into my Greninja to go for the Hydro Pump if I so choose, as he actually doubles into his Beedrill, and I was like, ah, crap. Well, now I'm going to go into Tapu Koko as he had one of two plays. If he Poison Jabbed there, cool, Tapu Koko went down. That's a free roost for Arrow as Hippo is still asleep, and then Tangela can come in, go for Leech Seed, and basically win the game. If he U-turns like he does in this case, he goes into Hippo, as Hippo has slept one turn, but hopefully I can get another sleep turn out of it. But at the very least, I want to keep it at less than 100% as he does end up being Rindo like I thought, and of course he wakes up on the very first turn possible, knocks me out with Earthquake, but at this point, Greninja's going to come in. I'm saying screw it, I'm clicking Hydro Pump, knocks out the Hippo, and the combination of Life Orb, Poison, and Sand puts me in Torrent to where the Mega Beedrill at this point will go down to 3 Water Shuriken hits, and will I get 3? Luckily I do. Like, yeah, I honestly would not have been surprised if I only got 2 hits just because that's how that game went, but yeah, quite frankly, that was an absolutely atrocious game to play just because of the insane amount of hacks against me, like, good lord. But either way, able to pull through. Like, Tangela came through clutch, Greninja finally hit its moves when it did matter most, and we are able to take the 3-0 win, which, quite frankly, without the hacks, I think could have easily been 6-0. So at this point, I'm pretty sure we've, like, all but officially clinched playoffs, like, all but mathematically we've clinched. So that's pretty nice. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.